Right, so we're going to go through a couple of tips on how you can make sure that you're still reaching and still living in alignment with your summer goals, even though there are lots of summer socials coming up. And a lot of us will have something every weekend during the week, birthdays, weddings, barbecues, no matter what it might be. I feel like it is often a struggle, especially when you are trying so hard with your summer goals, but it feels like there's always something in the way. And the next big thing is just around the corner. So we're going to go through a couple of things that we can do to make sure that we are actually staying on track, living in alignment with who we want to become, and making sure that we're always kind to ourselves. So the first thing I actually wanted to say is, are you doing this for you? And what do you truly want? Do you want to enjoy that event? Or do you really just want to lose weight? What is more important to you? And for me, I think whenever there's an event coming up, I always encourage my clients to not track calories, to have fun, to live in the moment, to really enjoy themselves. However, if you really don't want to, if you don't want to drink alcohol, if you really don't want to eat that bread, it's your choice. If you don't want to eat that burger, it's your choice. And I can never make you do anything. You have to make the decision for yourself. But if you do genuinely just want to live life, which most of us do, then do it. And that will cause far more enjoyment than thinking about your diet or your lifestyle change on that particular day. There's no reason to say the day after you can't get back on into routine and back on track, because you definitely can. So the first thing is that we would need to balance calories. And in order to do this, you need to actually understand that you have a weekly intake of calories. So if your coach, or if you have decided that you're going to be in a calorie deficit, which means that you will be losing fat or losing body weight, then it will mean that you're on a number which is probably lower than maintenance. So it would be below 2,000 calories. And what you would need to do is basically times that by 7. So each day you would eat that, and each week it would accumulate into a larger amount. So for example, if you do have 2,000 calories a day, you times that by 7, meaning throughout the week you have 14,000 calories. And then each day you can kind of spread it across the entire week to balance it out. If you know you're going to be eating a lot more on a Saturday, then you just eat a little bit less every day up until that Saturday. So then you have a lot more calories to spare to drink alcohol, to have lots of food of that at that wedding or barbecue, to be able to know that you're not going to gain any weight that week because you've balanced it out and it's counteractive to each other. Another thing you can do is that you can bank calories during that day. So you can reduce the size of your breakfast. So in terms of reducing the size, you can add lower calorie things, like you could have some Greek yogurt and some fruit instead of a really high carb breakfast like Weetabix or something like that. And making sure that you are always prioritizing protein is a really, really important thing, because it keeps you fuller for longer, it satisfies you more, and it will take longer to digest, only by a tiny bit, but it does make a big difference throughout the day. As well as lunch, making that lower calorie. So it doesn't actually have to be smaller in size, but it needs to be smaller in terms of calorie intake. So you could add things like salad, like vegetables, and then take away some of the fats, or even add fats, because that keeps you fuller for longer, but healthy fats like avocado, and just reducing things like maybe bread, because you're going to have a lot of that in the evening anyway. And just question yourself constantly, is this in alignment with who I want to become, or am I just doing this because I feel like I need to be doing that? If you want to have a free reign that day, then go for it, because that's what you really want. If you're in that environment and there's loads of food on that table and you really have no idea what to do, and you don't want to overeat and you don't want to overspend and you're feeling a little bit worried, ask yourself, am I actually hungry? Because a lot of the time we genuinely are either thirsty, or we just do it because it's in front of us and because we're enjoying the time and we think that we need to keep eating. I've definitely will put my hand up and say I've been at a barbecue and had probably around six hot dogs, like 2 burgers and whatever else. And it is a treat, but I probably didn't need to overindulge that much, because it would even cause a belly pain after, because I'm so full. And just question yourself, if there was only meat on that table, no bread, no salad, no crisps, no nothing, would you actually keep eating just pure protein? And if the answer is no, then you're actually not that hungry, because no one actually gets that excited by just protein. It's all of the other stuff and the enjoyment, but also realizing that you're there for the social, you're there to interact, you're not there just to eat. And we can sometimes find comfort in the eating part, but you are there to socialize. So talk in between each meal, or each bite that you have, or enjoy yourself and make it more than just about the food. Because even though we are social around the food and it's beautiful and it's amazing, we can sometimes lose track that we're there to meet with other people, we're there to have fun. And even though that partly comes from the food, it's not the be all and end all. In terms of drinking alcohol, a lot of coaches will tell you that you need to go for lower calorie drinks. And it's all good saying this. However, a lot of low calorie drinks actually are a lot stronger and the percentage of alcohol is a lot higher. So you will get a lot more drunk. And then that obviously bleeds into the days after, where you're hungover, you reach for convenience foods, and you more often than not actually drag it out a lot longer than what you would if you were just having your normal drinks, because that's what you enjoy and that's what you're used to, and you recover better from that. So what I would say is up to you. But if you go for your regulars, just have a drink of water in between, slow it down a little bit. You don't need to be jugging every single drink. And then again, talk in between each one, have fun, enjoy yourself, realize that maybe you don't need to have 5 drinks, you can settle for 3. If you're drinking things like Coke Zero or like Sprite in between, you're probably going to be very full anyway, and it just slows down the process and lets the alcohol sink into your body before it's too late and you've had like 6 or 10 drinks. As well as, if you are going to have the lower calorie drinks, make sure you're adding in lots of mixers, because they are very, very strong. And even though they are low calorie, they're still calories. And we just have to keep reminding ourselves that just because it's low calorie doesn't mean it's any better. It just means it's lower calorie, but you might just even have more. So you're almost equalizing it out, and it might be pointless when it's affecting you more the day after, when we are reaching for that convenient and comfort food like chocolate takeaways and things like that. On top of all of that, I think the main thing is that you enjoy yourself. You should never really be counting any kind of calories. Kind of talk to yourself and prep yourself before you go. This is a day of enjoyment. I don't need to be thinking about calories. I do not need to be tracking my food whatsoever. I'm going to enjoy myself. And the day after, I'm just going to get straight back on track, because that's balance. And this lifestyle change I'm making is sustainable, and it does not need to rule my life. I get to choose when and if I put this into practice, and just continuously keep telling yourself that, because it's the most important thing. As well as that, I think just enjoying yourself, having lots of fun, and making sure that you turn up for the day after then. In terms of prepping as well, you can make sure that you're getting your steps in that day, and to just make yourself feel better mentally, staying into as much as routine as you possibly can, because that is ultimately going to make you feel so much more positive. You're going to be happier. You're not going to feel let down by yourself the next day either. And just making sure that you're drinking lots and lots of water, especially in the hot weather. We get dehydrated, and then that's when we start picking and thinking that we're hungry instead of thirsty. So I hope that this video has helped you with your summer goals and staying in alignment with them over the socials. It can be a little bit difficult, but it definitely is doable. I do it myself. My clients have managed to do it, and it just proves that if you want something and you have all of the correct methods behind it and you just put them into place, then you will 100% just smash it. You will definitely reach your goals. If you need any more help at all, feel free to send me a quick message. Honestly, I'm always here to talk and listen. Any help at all, I will give it to you. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon.